I know that a portion of our audience is already using AI and using it effectively, um, and a portion of our audience may still be on the fence. We're going to unpack weekly components about AI for us to understand. We're not going to be going over tools. The things that we're going to be discussing in these solo shows, you can use across the board. You can use in any agent that you decide to use it in, whether it's Claude, Open AI, or ChatGPT, uh, or whatever system model that you use. These are going to be the dispelling the myths, so to say, uh, that many people are being mystified. One, and we won't look at that today, but one of the biggest myths is that AI is going to replace us. I believe that there's a great opportunity for us to embrace the technology and find our footing. It's either one or two things that's going to happen. Either we're going to have early adapters who get on board and embrace the technology, and then we're going to have people that will eventually become consumers of the technology. I'm talking to A, those that are going to embrace the technology, not just embrace it, but use it as something that they implement in their everyday lives. We have been implementing, and we've already accustomed to intelligence. But this level of intelligence is growing, and it's growing fast. So I'm going to spend some time weekly uh, telling you about that. Before we get into that, I want to first say welcome to Walk in Victory. Uh, this is a solo show. When I first started, we used to do solo shows, and we would have off topics and stuff like that. But now this is totally different. These topics are going to be fruitful. What we're going to discuss today is first, one, what is AI? Two, how AI works. And three, why human thinking matters in relations to AI. And for uh, the mindset, because we are talking about a shift in mindset, we're going to show connectivity and neuroscience and connectivity and spiritual growth. That's what our book encompasses, Awakening I Am. And we're going to stick with those themes as we look at AI. So let's look at first one, what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? When we hear artificial intelligence, we think Avatar, we think Alien, we think of this model that is coming for us and coming to take over what it is that we have built. But AI, or artificial intelligence within itself, is not a mind. The intelligent agent is a mirror of the end user. The intelligent agent is a mirror of the end user. AI in itself is a bigger, broader context. And within AI, within you have subcontext. But we're going to look at the broader context of AI. So AI is not um, a mind, but AI is a pattern system. It's a pattern system trained on large amounts of information. So it's large language models, LLM. It's trained on large language. And the better or the more context, the larger the language, the more information we feed our agents, the better the agent performs. So when I first started using AI, I thought something was wrong with when I first started using. I started using Claude and Google, and my results weren't good. But the results wasn't good because of the information that I was giving it wasn't good. So it would give, especially early on, It would give spooky answers or ghost answers. It would give answers that was not what I was looking for. Sometimes it would make stuff up, and we would have to call out those times out. So I had to learn how to properly prompt the agent so that I can get better results. And because it's a large language model, the more information I gave it, the better arch in results that I got. So not only is it a large language model, it's a system of patterns. And because it's built to understand patterns, it can start to predict over time. So it's a system of patterns, and it uses large language. And then it begins to predict. It organizes those patterns in a way that we can't organize. That's what makes it scary, because it organizes, it is able to see, articulate, and answer really, really fast. Because the data is the point of training. The agent now recognizes the pattern, and it learns the relationship between the words and the idea. And then it predicts. So it gets the data, that's what we put in. It recognizes the pattern. It learns the relationships between the words and the ideas, and then it makes a prediction. It's one thing that you have to understand, especially for those that are just coming in, is that the better you are at understanding what end result you want, the more efficient the agent will be. So you have to come in already understanding what it is that you want, or the frustration happens, or the scary thing happens, and this is why people get scared, is that it'll take you to a place that you didn't desire to go. All right? So because it's understanding where I want to be, and now we're going back from where I want to be and looking at the steps to how to get there. Now here's the great thing, because once you give it the proper data, once you train it with the information, once it understands its role, then it will generate the next response. So in an example, if I am looking for blog ideas and I want to generate a calendar for this week's blog post that will more likely get recognized and seen, and I'm coming to the agent as a thinking partner. When I sit down, the first thing that I'm going to do is define its role. I'm going to give it the big idea. I'm looking to create a week's worth of blog content. These are the topics that I have in mind. I'm going to also show past blogs. So I'll copy and put in, these are the things that we have been doing. So now the agent has an idea of my writing styles. The agent has an idea of what I've been feeding the audience. And the agent has an idea of what we're looking to do. Now the agent is starting to predict. And it's starting to move really, really fast. And it may start spitting out anything. This is why it's important to do these things up front before you before you put it into the machine, because once you hit enter, it's going to start taking you places that you don't want it to go there, because we're not ready yet. We're not ready to hit enter, because remember, the agent is going to try to predict the next move. The reason why we're not ready to implement, although we have the data and although we gave it the information of what our end result is, because we have yet to give it a role. The most important step in the prediction process is that we want to be able to tell the agent how we expect them to predict. So one of a role would be, you now, agent, are a chief editor for the top blog company in the world. Now you want to give context. Think like, and you give a list of blogs that you have engaged with that you like. So now you've done two things. This is still in the data part. One, you've given them, the agent, writings that you have done in the past. Two, you have given the agent a role to think like, and then you've given it more data on, these are the types of writings that I want to mirror as we move forward. Now, before we get into larger context, we have to really streamline what we call long tail, streamline the roles. Am I asking it to give me titles, suggestions? Am I asking it to give me the full blogs? Am I asking it to help me think through? Am I asking it to check on search first, and let's look at the trending words in the industry? If I don't come in knowing what I need, then my results are going to be sketchy. This is basic stuff, and I understand that for those of you who are already using AI efficiently, this you're not going to really job with that. But there is a audience, believe it or not, that is as being spooked about this, and I think that is my responsibility, one, as a man of faith, and two, understanding the industry. I grew up where technology was always frowned upon, and I think that if we can just break down some of the misnomers first, and then get into the weeds of what's happening next, we'll be able to raise up some more people that will be responsible users of technology. So this is why human thinking matters. Because if you notice, I have yet to hit enter. And the human thinking part is the AI, the agent, that's the one that's going to spit out the information. The more information that I feed it, the more information that I gather on my end, the better the result. And remember, these are large language models. So I would now, after I give it a role, ask the agent to summarize what it was that I asked, and to give me an index short summary. Now, in points. And you have to be specific, because it's a large language model. Sometimes it gives you long, large answers, and the reasoning behind the answers, and all the philosophies. We'll talk about how you can change those things later also. So the human is important, as you see, because the agent is only going to produce on the other side of what the human is doing. We cannot waste our time. making nice pictures and funny memes, when we have all of this information at our fingertips in our pocket, that we can actually flush out our ideas in a respectful manner, in an intelligent manner, and walk away with more than an idea flushed out. So the human thinking is key. The clearer your thoughts, the better your results. The clearer your thoughts, the better your results. I was watching these. I watch a lot of videos and stuff on AI, and it's this whole new trend that ChatGPT fixed my credit, and they go through the ChatGPT didn't fix the credit. What ChatGPT did was give them an outline or a system on how to remove things from the credit. But those systems already exist. These models are only pulling from information that is already out there. So when you ask a question, whether it's concerning your credit, or it's concerning a business problem, or it's concerning anything in pop culture, all it's going to do is gather information from all of its resources, and it's able to gather information on a fast scale and then spit it back out to you in a systematic way. It doesn't fix the credit. It gives you the steps that you now have to go do to fix the credit. So AI is a reflection of the human end user. Here's the connection. Our brains fear uncertainty. So people are reacting before they understand. And clarity calms the nervous system. When our brain is in an unfamiliar place, fear, as a protective agent, pops up and causes us to become skeptical, and now gives us excuse lines not to engage. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by this climate that we live in, it's normal. But the more information that you receive, the more calm you'll become. And the calmness comes because the information causes the nervous system to now say, okay, this is a safe space. So the brain is not going to just adapt to a new pathway. The brain has to be ushered into the new pathway. And these Sundays are what we're going to do to help you usher your thinking into this new pathway. We're renewing the mind with information. We're setting a path for identity before behavior, and clarity before movement. And each of these lessons, or each of these episodes that we look at, will allow us to go deeper, allow us to grow in better understanding concerning this era that we live in. This is our solo show. We've learned what AI is, how it works, and why human thinking matters. All of the information that you need is in the link in the bio. We have our Victory Builders, which is an all-in-one platform. Awakening I Am, which is our book. We have it both in audio and all platforms, and we're just excited to continue to grow together. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't walk with your head down. Together we walk in victory. Peace.